All right, what's going on, big dogs? So, as I'm sure most of you have noticed, I have been playing a ton of XDefiant. I'm sure it's the gameplay footage that you're seeing now. Actually, I know it is. The game has come out from Ubisoft 4 weeks ago now at this point, and it has only continued to get better for me. I have over 45 hours in the game currently. I have 4 guns gold. It has been one of the most fun and just enjoyable like after work experiences. It really brings back that old school Call of Duty feel, and it's something that I think a lot of people have wanted for a long time. Now, with that being said, Call of Duty is obviously something that isn't going away anytime soon, and this has a lot of people thinking, will XDefiant actually overtake the Call of Duty franchise? And so today I decided I wanted to do a video. I kind of wanted to do a review on XDefiant, but I also wanted to do kind of a which game is going to outlast the other type of video. Will Call of Duty continue to remain on top, or can XDefiant actually continue to better itself and take over the Call of Duty franchise when it comes to first-person shooters? So before I kind of give you guys my answer here, I do want to make it pretty clear. Obviously, Call of Duty has been around for a long, long time. Call of Duty is a stable franchise. It has a ton of money behind it. It is going to be a very difficult task for XDefiant to just kind of come out of nowhere and then take over Call of Duty. XDefiant is not this perfect game that everybody likes to claim it's been for the last couple of weeks, but it is extremely good. I will 100% say that. And then obviously when I'm talking here, I'm not talking about Call of Duty's other game modes. XDefiant is just the multiplayer aspect. It doesn't have a campaign. It doesn't have any of those extra game modes like zombies or Spec Ops, Warzone, none of that stuff. So we're solely just comparing the multiplayer. I know that probably doesn't need to be said, but there's a lot of stupid people out there who will freak out about that if I don't clarify myself here. So without further ado, let's kind of get into the rundown here. So I guess the first part is gameplay. The first part to compare them to is gameplay. Now, XDefiant's gameplay feels very Black Ops 2-esque, right? The movement, the way the guns feel, the way they operate, even just the guns that are in the game kind of give you that Black Ops 2 feel of the main guns you were going to pick from, like, oh, which one do I want to use? You had guns like the AN-94, and then in this one you got the AK-47, and they both feel extremely, extremely similar. It's very Black Ops 2-esque. And then it also takes kind of elements of Black Ops 3 when you had the operators and they had their special abilities and things like that into account. So in my opinion, XDefiant takes kind of the best of both of those games, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and it kind of throws them together. It doesn't have all the movement mechanics of Black Ops 3. It has the sliding. It feels much smoother. Obviously, it's a newer game, so it should feel better. The game feels extremely smooth. So overall, the gameplay of this is very Call of Duty-esque. Now, Call of Duty in recent years obviously hasn't exactly been in the greatest of lights. A lot of people are not happy with how they've been moving with movement, where overpowered metas like jump crouching and crouch jumping and slide canceling and all these other just weird, advanced mechanics that only the best players are going to be pulling off on a consistent basis has made a lot of people unhappy. And even just this past week, XDefiant kind of came in and updated the way movement worked, because it clearly wants to play like a Black Ops 2. It wants to play with the, yes, you can run and slide, which is a little more Black Ops 3-esque, but you could run, slide, and then jump, but you can't spam jump anymore. That used to be a problem in the game here for the last couple of weeks, where that was the meta. You would take an SMG and you would just spam jump because it made you a lot harder to hit. But now if you spam jump or you try to jump more than once in a row, it really screws up your aim. So they've really nerfed a lot of these, advanced movement mechanics, because I think they understand that most people just want to be able to play a fun first-person shooter and don't want these overly sweaty elements. And not only that, if you're looking at both of these games when it comes to like a pro scene, that would make it a lot more fun to watch in a pro scene aspect, because instead of these pros trying to do these crazy movement mechanics and all these other just broken things that are left in the game to win matches, it's a lot more, at least in my opinion, it's a lot more interesting to actually see them have to use their operators' abilities and actually form strategies based around what the other team has picked, based around what the other team has been playing like. I think that's way more interesting and will allow it to actually have an esport in the future. So overall, gameplay and the feel of it, they very, very much feel the same. At least when it comes to old school Call of Duty. I think currently right now, XDefiant feels better than Warzone or anything like that. The movement, the gameplay right now just feels cleaner. It's a little more smooth. And if anything seems out of place and out of you know, just out of character of the game, I guess. Ubisoft and the developers of the game here have been extremely on point with it and doing extremely well with making sure that the community is heard and understood that, hey, we don't want spam jumping. They're like, oh, all right, yeah, we have no idea why that was even in the game. That's stupid. Like, their updates have been great, and they always add a little bit of like a comedic twist to them when they are updating, kind of roasting themselves, I guess. So that has been great. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, kind of compare them both on, is kind of what I was just talking about there with which one has more potential to have a form popular esport. So now that Microsoft has taken over Call of Duty, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think they did a great job with the games that they've bought out in the past, things like Minecraft, where they've continued to add really crazy and cool updates to. Like, I genuinely think Microsoft does a good job most of the time. Obviously, it sucks that they just buy out all these companies and are kind of doing whatever they want, but nonetheless, their track record so far is pretty good. So I'm excited to see what they do with Black Ops 6. Obviously, the controversy with the download size right now is a little ridiculous, but I understand why people are upset. It's a big game, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with the multiplayer, because the Call of Duty esport, at least in my opinion, was always something that I was just surprised never got popular and wasn't as big as, say, like CSGO and these other ones. And really it was because there is no strategic element a lot of these times. Like, yes, 4v4 is interesting, and there is obviously strategies when it comes to the objective game modes, you know, how to pick people off, where to sit, where to, you know, keep an eye on certain corners, whatever. Yes, there is strategy to that. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to actually seeing and forming a strategy from an audience perspective, most audience members aren't sitting there going, oh, okay, so so-and-so sitting in this corner and so-and-so sits that corner so that they can crossfire. The casual player and the casual fan is not going to put that together. Where when you have these elements of operators, like XDefiant has, you can oftentimes see the strategy unfolding right in front of you. So for instance, some might use their Phantom ultimate, which is a big bubble shield, and you get this overpower gun, and if someone gets too close to you, you blast them. They might use that alongside with a flamethrower, or maybe they'll use that alongside the Echelon 5.7 ultimate pistol and just use that to, you know, walk around and mow down people, get extra bonus kills and stuff like that, keep the enemy off the objective. And people will be able to see that and understand that a lot more clearly, which then adds to the fun. CSGO, I think, is a great example. People love seeing crazy new smokes. People love seeing plays set up, and people can understand and notice them by just looking at the screen. They don't need an announcer telling you what they're thinking. They can look at the gameplay footage and go, oh, okay, yeah, he threw a smoke there, so they're thinking that there's a bunch of people there, but so-and-so decided to walk through the smoke, which they weren't expecting, obviously, because who would do that? And he mowed them all down. So I do think XDefiant has like this huge gap right now between the Call of Duty esport and what XDefiant could be. Now, I've played their ranked mode, and this is really my only like knock towards XDefiant. Not only do they not have most maps out right now, I believe there's only 5, but they all feel very niche. They all feel very like certain strategies are only going to work on these maps if you want to win at certain game modes. And not only that, the ranked play on the maps feels really poor because it's a 4v4 instead of a 6v6. And I genuinely think that the game would benefit more from a 6v6 ranked mode. Like 4v4, I get it. It's supposed to make the game harder, whatever. But I genuinely think this, like the chaotic fun of the game alongside the strategy element, would boost the ranked gameplay so much. Like right now, it feels really boring. It feels really dry. Everyone's kind of just running the same thing. And if they're not running the same thing, then they're just trying to get their guns gold, which in that case, they don't really care and they're not even trying. Obviously, it's just a testing phase right now for their ranked mode. So we'll see what they do when their official first season drops. I believe in like 20 days or something like that, which then I'll probably do another update on the game. I'll probably have over 100 hours by then. So I'll probably do like a 100-hour review as well, which honestly at this point will just be this video. But I do think that XDefiant, which obviously no surprise, they have like former Call of Duty developers on the team. Like that was kind of the whole point. They were trying to basically make a back to roots classical Call of Duty FPS. So it feels good to be able to play. My overall thoughts, guys, is when it comes to the multiplayer aspect, yes, I do think that XDefiant has the potential to take over Call of Duty. I don't think it has yet. I think that's going to take, you know, a year before it really starts to pick up. And that's if they continue to do good updates and continue to listen to the community, because that is one thing that Activision Blizzard did not do. Now, if Microsoft comes in and is doing the same thing these guys are, where they're being responsive, they're being understanding of the community. They're making the updates that we asked for, that kind of stuff. I could see Call of Duty going back to being the best kind of arcade FPS esport, I guess. Now, obviously, XDefiant, like I said at the beginning, doesn't have these other special game modes that Call of Duty has and has built up over the years. XDefiant also doesn't have the funding that Call of Duty has currently. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But to anybody wondering, should you play XDefiant? I guess I can kind of throw in my review here at the end. Absolutely. The game is a solid 8 out of 10. It really is. It would be a 10 out of 10 again. Like I said, if once they add in a few more maps and maybe tweak a few things, there does seem to be like a little bit of too much server latency. Like you'll be behind a wall and you'll still be getting hit at times. So I'm not sure how that gets fixed or anything. They've addressed it. They understand that it feels a little sluggish. So they've been working on that. But otherwise, everything that we've complained about the community-wise, they basically fixed and tweaked with this last update, at least to some degree. So that's been super refreshing and honestly great. It feels like the Helldivers 2 developers are making this, which is awesome. I said feels like, by the way, not that they are, just clarifying again for stupid people. But yeah, if you guys haven't played XDefiant yet, if you haven't tried it out, it's 100% free, guys. I genuinely think you should go give it a shot. If you loved like Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, you know, peak Call of Duty, you really genuinely will enjoy this game. And I don't think enough people are playing it. I really don't. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people playing it, but there should be more. It's super fun. It's super just a relaxing, fun first-person shooter that we've been missing for probably a decade at this point. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, remember, please leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It all absolutely means a ton. We are shooting for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you guys could really help me reach that goal, it would mean a lot. It's absolutely free and you can change your mind at any time. Don't forget to check me out on all my socials. Links will be down in the description below. If you want to see what I'm using as a setup, all that information is down in the description as well. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. And until the next video, Godspeed.